Peace, 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 peace. We back in the you and I verse on temple for the sun, planet, moon, and stars. I'll be your Lord of hosts, Lord Messiah. Okay, so earlier, right? Going back over, what we're doing right now, Scrum process. So earlier we went over the statehood in the 1 to 10, right? And I was breaking down how in the 1 to 10, you know what I'm saying, you see a manifestation of statehood right there in that document. We just probably never looked at it in that way, right? So for example, dealing with the Montevideo Convention on the rights and duties of states, there's Article 1, it says a state is a person in the eyes of international law and possesses the following qualifications: A, a permanent population; B, a defined territory; C, a government; and D, the capacity to enter into relations with other states. So I went through the 1 to 10 and I showed and proved how basically, that's right there in the 1 to 10. The permanent population is in the understanding degree. What is the total population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America and all over planet Earth? Answer: total population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America is 17 million, with the 2 million Indians making a total of 19 million, and 4,400,000,000 all over the planet Earth. That's the total population. The defined territory, it goes into the equality degree where it asks how much useful land is used every day by the total population of the planet Earth. So they combine the total population and the useful land. That's dealing with the permanent population and the defined territory. So it says the God degree, how much is used by the original man. Answer: the original man uses 23 million square miles. So 23 million square miles is the defined territory for statehood, you know what I'm saying? Which is aspect B of, defining the statehood. Then the government, we went into the born degree, talking about how Islam has no set birth record. It has no beginning or ending, for it's older than the sun, moon, and star. And we know that, based on the sun, moon, and star, that's how we govern our families: man, woman, and child, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. And then I went into the divine family trust and all of that, how we showing people how to govern their families through a divine, universal family, divine trust. And then the knowledge cipher degree, how to enter into relations with, the capacity to enter into relations with states other than, with the capacity to enter into relations with other states. So in the knowledge cipher degree, it says, what is the set birth record of nations other than Islam? Answer: Buddhism, 35,000 years old; Christianity, 551 years old. So Buddhism and Christianity, those are two other nations other than Islam, which we could show the capacity to enter into relations with, dealing with statehood and whatnot, just for say. So that's in there. So now we're going to go into the 1 to 14, just to give y'all a little update on what we're talking about, right? So dealing with the defined population, it ain't necessarily in order in the 1 to 14, but, I went through the degrees and I drew it up. So in the knowledge degree, they say, why isn't the devil settled on the best part of the planet Earth? You know what I'm saying? And in the understanding degree, they say, why do we let a half original man like Columbus discover the poor part of the planet Earth? So now we're dealing with parts of the planet Earth, right? Defined territories, right? The best part, and, North America, right? Which is said to be the wilderness, right? So these two are dealing with, defined territories. And then you go into the power degree. It says, why did we take Jerusalem from the devil and how long ago? That's dealing with another defined territory or piece of land that we say we took from the devil some 150 years ago. And when we go to the Asiatic calendar, that was under the rule of Lord Saladin, right? But now, due to knowledge, in case y'all didn't know, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, the head of the Jewish administration, they formed a statehood for Palestine and declared their statehood in Palestine in 1948. So the devil took back Jerusalem in 1948. In case y'all didn't know, gotta update your knowledge. Now we run around here quoting that degree. Yeah, we took the devil from 750 years ago. Yeah, well, David Ben-Gurion under the Jewish administration, and listen, it's called the Jewish administration once again. Religion and politics together. But being that it's their own statehood, they can do what they want to do. They don't have to succumb to the separation of church and state of the United States because they're no longer under their jurisdiction. This is the whole point of forming statehood, so you can do what you want to do. Fuck, man. Follow the example. So anyway, like I say, in 1948, they formed their Jewish administration, which was an administrative body that they used to form a statehood, and they declared statehood in Israel, using the Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States. In case y'all didn't know that, so now you know. So anyway, moving on. So now we go to the, I want to deal with the Bill degree real fast. And it says, why does the devil keep our people apart from their own social equality? Answer, because he doesn't want us to know how filthy he is in all his affairs. He is afraid that once we learn about him, we will run him from amongst us. You know, that same thing could go in many different nations too. A lot of people don't want to keep you apart from their social equality because they don't want you to know how filthy they are in their affairs. They're afraid that once you learn about them, they'll run you from amongst us. See what I'm saying? So that's why everybody be on that secretive shit and all of that. Ain't no secrets over here, man. Because ain't no filthy affairs. That's why there's no secrets. When there's secrets, there's filthy affairs. See what I'm saying? Facts. Why the secrets? I mean, yeah, we understand confidentiality as far as administration, but other than that, you know what I'm saying, you still got to let things be known to the nation. So anyway, so it says, so dealing with the social equality part, right? So it says social means to advocate a group of men or a society of men for one common cause, and equality means be equal in everything. So social equality right there, that's a form of governance. To advocate a group of men or a society of men for one common cause, that's a form of government. So that's aspect C of statehood, right there in the Bill degree. Social equality, right? And equality means be equal in everything, right? So we say, right? Now we quote that degree, but now Lord Messiah showed you how we actually implement that according to international law. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole point of us, instead of us just keep quoting that degree, let's actually manifest it. So that's why I was putting together all these different boards for us to advocate a group of men or a society of men for one common cause. And equality means to be equal in everything. That's why you got different boards and different positions and checks and balances of power. Duh. So anyway, moving on. So now we got the knowledge degree, right? Have you not heard that your word shall be bond, regardless of whom or what? Yes, my word shall be bond, and bond is life. And I will give my life if my word shall fail. So now, going back to the Father-in-law, right? When the Father-in-law was teaching the first non-born, he actually was developing a divine trust. And a divine trust was being formed. I was supposed to go through the 1 to 36 and show statehood in the 1 to 36, actually. But, I'll do that on the next one. But anyway, I was actually supposed to go through the 1 to 36, so I drew up some signs in the 1 to 36 too. But anyway, so that bond, right? Because a lot of others have the knowledge, word of mouth, right? So their word was their bond, and their bond was their life. And they gave their life before their word shall fail. So therefore, when they got that degree and they heard it word of mouth, they had to memorize that and go home and keep reciting. Because tomorrow when they came back, they had to have that lesson on deck. So that verbal transferring of information was a divine trust, where the Father, as the truster, granted certain provisions to the trustees for them to go out and do their duty as divine trustees and bring benefit to the beneficiaries, which were the black youths they were teaching in different states. And like I always bring back up in our bomb history, how they, in 1971, the Gods of Earth came alive as a nation. They started to teach black youths in different states. They started to send representatives to attend national events, international events at the United Nations. They started to teach black youths in other states. So that was showing their capacity to enter into relations with other states, by teaching in other states. But what they were teaching was through civilization. But now we coming with this political information and international law showing and proving that they were actually creating a divine trust, and those territories that they taught in, or the regions that they taught in, were actually trust territories. See what I'm saying? And now that we have this information of international law and how to put it into place and all of that, I'm showing you how basically we are continuing to work through our word being bond, and us giving our life for all our word shall fail. The bond that we made to the Father to keep on teaching, you know what I'm saying? And so forth, and we'll keep doing that. And as we spread this knowledge through the region, we're going to start to govern them as trust territories under the divine trust. Allah, you justice estates, divine trust, which will govern Allah, you justice estates, divine trust territories, as we turn these different regions that we've been teaching in into trust territories. And then show the people in these regions how to govern their families due to the universal family divine trust, which is based on the universal flag. The sun, moon, and star is the truster, trustee, and beneficiary. Man, woman, and child, all based on knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know what I'm saying? So let's move on, right? Knowledge, wisdom degree. What is the meaning of FOI? Answer: fruit of Islam. This is the military This is the name given to the military training of men that belong to Islam in North America. Now let's go through that right there. The military training of men. So it's a military training going on. And a military, you already know, is a form of governance. It's a defense. It's a branch of government for defense. You see what I'm saying? And they're under the commander-in-chief, which is the president and so forth. He can send them to war and all of that. So that's the military is part of the government. So in there we're showing section C of the statehood, which is government through the fruit of Islam. And another form of governance in the next degree, which is the captain and lieutenant. The duty of the captain is to give orders to the lieutenant. The lieutenant is to teach, also train the private soldiers. That's a form of governance. And in the next degree, what is the meaning of MGT and GCC? Muslim Girl Training and General Civilization classes. This is the name given to the girl, women and girls that belong to North America, belong to Islam in North America, teaching how to sew, cook, how to keep a home, how to rear their children, how to sew, cook, and in general, how to act at home and abroad. These training units were named by our Prophet WD-40. So that's also a form of governance for our women and girls. MGT and GCC, Muslim Girl Training and General Civilization classes. And as we say, we teach, the 5%, we teach freedom, justice, and equality to all human families of the planet Earth. This is how we show our capacity to enter into relations with other nations or other states. Come on, man. It's all right there in our lessons, man. Like, what is we talking about, man? See, we never studied it like this, though. We never looked it up and drew it up through international law as a nation state. You see what I'm saying? Dealing with statehood. So I just showed you how statehood is right there in the 1 to 14. You know what I mean? Come on now. Now what they gonna say? Now when I go to the parliament and break this down, what they gonna say then? They gonna be like, damn, that's been sitting right there in our face all this time. We never seen that? Yeah, you never seen it. Cause you ain't got that I am Messiah. Yeah, man. Gotta have that third eye, man. So that's a sign. So I ain't gonna hold y'all forever. Sorry I did this out of order, but I'm gonna go back and do the 1 to 36 now. And show y'all the size of statehood that's drawn up in the 1 to 36. Or the lack of statehood that was misconstrued in the 1 to 36. Peace.